What's up, guys? Welcome back to the American Dream Project podcast. If that's what you really want to call it, um, it's not necessarily a podcast because we don't always do the podcast format. Um, but we'll I don't know what that. Just welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the American Dream Project. I'm so excited to be back recording and filming stuff just because I don't know. Well, it'd help if my microphone would not fall apart on me. All right, we're back. um, we're trying out some new equipment. Yes, this is a lav mic. I'm gonna clip it on here in a second. I just feel like I can get better audio out of it holding it like a microphone. Could just be in my head, but we are back. We are back recording videos. We have a whole bunch of different kinds of videos we're going to do. We'll have the sit down ones like this is going to be, but this is good. So this video is actually the first of a series, and it's a series titling "I Am the American Dream Project," and it's just going to be me building my American dream, showing you guys, walking you through the steps to build your life, and your American dream doesn't have to be some big extravagant thing like I'm trying to do, like building this business into a national business to where we have stores all across the country. That doesn't have to be your American dream. Your American dream could be simply living a life of extreme faith. You're living a life of fitness. You have the body you want. You feel the way you want. Um, Building the family you want. Having the relationship with your family and friends that you want. It could be financially. It could be through a whole lot of things. And I believe that building your ultimate American dream involves a combination of all of those things. And so I'm going to show you that in my own life as I do it. Because recently, the business hasn't been growing like I wanted it to. And I can't figure out why. I can't figure out why I'm having a hard time getting customers. And because I feel like the brand represents something awesome and something that most people can get behind. And I mean, we carry such a wide variety of products. We have supplements, we got clothing that anybody can wear. I mean, we have tactical stuff. We have so many things. But I think the main thing is I have to live the American Dream Project. I have to show people that in my life what it looks like. That way they can see what it could look like in theirs. So that is what I'm going to try to accomplish through this series. Um, and as we go along, I will interview people that have done that in their life and are doing it. And we'll do some cool videos. We'll have some fun with it. But yeah, this is just something that I want to do for myself and to help you guys, help the business, and help you understand what we're trying to do here. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. So, let me clip this guy on because I'm going to need my hands. And don't make fun of the setup here. I'm trying. It'll get better as we go. But so the very first thing, um, I forget the statistic. I would have to look it up. But you guys are more than welcome to. But in today's world, most problems, most depression, anxiety, um, failed marriages, failed relationships come down to one thing. One thing only. Money. Money plays a huge part in your day-to-day life. It plays a part in your mental health. It plays a part in your physical health. It plays a part in your relationships. And so we're going to talk about money and how I am going to get my finances right. Because like I told you guys in the introduction episode the other day, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. And it's going to be rough, and it's not fun for me to put this out there. But, I believe in full transparency with you guys. So, to be 100% transparent, where I sit financially right now, I am in about $100,000 of debt. About 65,000 of that is student loans, just from when I went to school and I took out student loans. And what I was doing at the time was not cheap, and I ended up changing from that. You'll have to go watch some other episodes. I don't want to dive too deep into it right now, But I decided that's not what I was going to do with my life, and it hasn't felt good to be paying those, but it is what it is. And then I have another loan. I have about $20,000 left on it. It was for a previous business venture, for my Airbnb. I've got about $20,000 left on it to pay down, so that puts us about $85,000, which then makes it where I have about $16,000 in credit card debt, which may not be a lot for you, but it is for me because I work a full-time job while trying to invest in my business. To be 100% transparent with you with my living situation, I do live at home with my parents. They are gracious enough to allow me to live here rent-free, and I could not be more thankful for them because that allows me to even be able to have this business at all. The goal is to be out of here within the next year. Definitely trying to do that. But I think to be able to do that and sustain everything, I got to get my money right. And so that's what we're going to do. And how we are going to do that is through, it's an old Dave Ramsey technique. And yeah, we'll just kind of go through it. If you don't know what it is, it's called the envelope method. You basically take envelopes and you're going to write stuff down on them and you're going to put a certain amount of money in them just to make it simple. But here is what I am doing. And so what I did, I of course calculated how much I make, and broke it down to after taxes what my monthly income is going to be. And so I get my net and then I tithe off of my gross. If you don't know what a tithe is a biblical thing, where you give God 10% of your money that He has given you back. And I can tell you that when I tithed faithfully, I don't struggle with money. Like somehow when I have no money, things get taken care of. And there's only one way to explain that, and that is through God. So I always make sure you tithe. If that's something you're not currently doing, I highly encourage you to look into it and consider it, because God takes things that we give Him and blesses us back tenfold. And I can testify to that, and I highly suggest at least considering it. But so then what I've done, and yes, like I said, I live at home, rent free, but what I've done to help me be able to pay stuff off quicker. And you could do things like the debt snowball and that kind of stuff. But kind of the situation I am in right now, I decided to go this route. So what I'm doing, I have broken down what all my expenses would be if I was on my own, if I was living in my own place. And so what I've done, I have gone through and written all those down, calculated what they're going to cost me per month. And so let's just go through them real quick. So these aren't in any particular order. I just got normal envelopes for them. But so we got car insurance, did that one. We got a phone bill. We got groceries for the month. I got one for my student loans and my other loan. And then I have one for gas and any vehicle needs, because I do have an older truck, so sometimes things come up where you got to replace some stuff. I got rent/mortgage. Got Wi-Fi. Got utilities. I've got my investment in my business each month. I've got renter's insurance, or you can make home insurance, however you want to do that. And then I've got savings. And then so what I've done is, after I calculated how much I needed, you take the amount of money, you go get the total. And this is where this method kind of gets a little tedious. Go to the bank, withdraw that total amount of money, and then put it in envelopes. It's going to make it a little difficult because I know things do come out automatically in your bank account, but you got to plan. You have to plan regardless of this. You'll see throughout this whole journey, planning is a big part of it, because if you don't make a plan, you don't know where you're going. And it's like if I was going to say, okay, I'm going to go to Florida tomorrow. But I didn't plan a route. I didn't plan where I was going to stay, anything. It would take me a whole lot longer probably to get to Florida because I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea how to get there. And so having a plan will help you know how to get where you want to go. And that's what this is. So I've got a plan, and I put due dates in my phone for stuff. So that way you get reminders daily not daily. You get reminders when you have a payment coming up. That way you could take, for instance, let's say utilities. Say you got your water bill, your electric bill, whatever. One of your utilities is coming up. You go, you look at your bill, figure out how much that is, and you go and you take that money out and you go put it in the bank and you pay the bill. Or if it's coming out automatically, you just go make sure you put the money in the bank before that bill pulls out. Now, if you don't want to do it the old-fashioned way with envelopes, you can use an app. It is called Cube with a Q. So it's Q-U-B-E. Cube. I've used it before, and I really liked it. For me, this is more of a psychological thing for me, putting it in the envelopes. But with the Cube, I know you can split it into different categories, just like you do. It's different envelopes, basically. You could do that. I just felt like it was having it separated in envelopes like this. You have to, if you want to go and you blow money, you have to go intentionally find that envelope, pull the money out of it, and go spend it. Whereas with the Cube app, you have it right there at your fingertips. So like if I am out and about and I see something that I would normally impulse purchase, I don't have that money there with me. I can't use my debit card to get it because that money's not there. And my envelope is at home tucked away in a safe. And I'm not going to drive all the way home to get that money and drive all the way back in town to make that impulse purchase, because that's the whole thing with impulse buying, is you want to buy it right then. So if you take some time, you go home, you can think about it, you're like, I don't need that, and you won't end up getting it. So it's a psychological thing for me, but if you're not as much of an impulse buyer, then that may be something you can do. But so getting your finances right is a big deal, because what I'm actually going to do, since I am blessed enough to not have to pay a rent or mortgage payment right now, all of that money that would go to things that I don't have to pay, like utilities, like renter's insurance, like a rent/mortgage. So here's one thing I want to hit on real quick. Just doing some research and reading some of Dave Ramsey's stuff and then other financial advisors. When it comes to rent and mortgage, I had no idea. I thought you just kind of figure out how much it costs and just go with it. A good rule of thumb is 30% of your gross income. So my 30% of my gross income is, I think the max was like $1,400, but I don't want that. I don't want $1,400 a month. So I did $1,200 a month. And what I'm going to do with things like this, since I don't have to pay rent or mortgage for now, all of this money at the end of the month is going to go towards paying a lump sum off of my credit card debt. And that's going to help me be able to, in turn, kind of do snowball method and snowball that debt away. But you do whatever you have to do, but make sure you find something that works for you. That's the biggest thing. If you're not comfortable with it, if you aren't going to figure out, I think it's trying to storm here, but make sure you are comfortable, and just you gotta tough it out. The first month, 2 months, 3 months, it's not going to be easy. But once you really get to it and stuff, it's just going to become a part of your life. And your future, your family's future, the people around you, whatever you're trying to do, whatever your goals are in life, a lot of them are going to be fueled by how well you have your finances in order. And that is my first step to doing this. So I will be giving you guys updates as we go. My next payday is next week. So when I get paid next week, we will do a payday distribution just to kind of show you how it works. I already distributed some of it. I already paid some bills and stuff. But I'll do a full breakdown of that next week with you guys. But yeah, this is just one part of it. Finance is just one part of it. Our next video will probably be a fitness or faith, what we're doing in those departments. But we'll do things like I'll break down kind of my routine to reading my Bible, praying, visualization, or meditation, however you want to word it. Because I believe that we constantly need to be visualizing what God has laid on our hearts for our future. And if you don't know, you gotta figure it out. You gotta pray with God, talk with God. And then with fitness, I will show you guys how I'm calculating like what my daily intake of calories need to be, how I'm meal planning, my workout plan that I'm going to be doing, all that stuff. I'll walk you. It's going to be a very, very full series of information, and I hope I can somewhat be entertaining for you guys. I know money is not always a fun topic to talk about, but that's the whole thing. You want to make it fun, because when it's fun, that means you're doing well financially, and you get to go after your dreams. Like, this is something else that you don't have to do, but I suggest doing it. I am a sucker for old classic cars. And I have a few of these around my office or bedroom and stuff. But it's just, I'll turn that around. It's a 71 Camaro. Whoa, sick car. But this is just one of my dream cars to be able to own, be able to experience. I love going to car shows, and I want to have my own car one day. This or an old Corvette. But you got to have something that you're working towards. So you got to set a goal, and then you got to make a plan like we talked about earlier. You got to know where you're going, but then you got to know how to get there. And this is just one of the ways that I do that. Find what drives you. Find something to shoot for. Make a plan and go execute on that. If you're looking for a starting point, I highly suggest trying the envelope method. It provides structure, because then in today's world where you have tap to pay on everything, it's very easy just to pull out your debit card and tap, or your credit card and tap, and you don't even think about how much money you're spending. I mean, it's just like at my job, we have a vending machine, and it's literally, you go, grab whatever you want, scan it. You're either hungry or thirsty at that moment. You're not looking at the price. You pull out your debit or credit card, tap it, and you go. And that adds up over time. So by doing this, it's going to help minimize impulse buying and will ultimately set me up for paying off my debt and then being able to save and invest more into my business, into this business, and into my future. So that is it for episode 1 of I Am the American Dream Project, because I am the American Dream Project, and I am building my American dream right here in front of you guys. And thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get better at presenting this kind of stuff. I'm going to become more entertaining, I hope. But we'll see. I hope some of you guys can get a lot of good out of this, and I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you go check out our website. We don't do any sponsors. We probably won't ever do any sponsors, because if you want to know what kind of products we like, just go to our store, because we carry some of the best brands in America. And for the most part, they are all made in America, unless it's a specialty product that is better made elsewhere. Just like I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but we have a pre-order right now for Mira Safety gas mask. They're gas masks that are used by law enforcement all over the globe. And it just turns out, I want to say it's Sweden. I'd have to go and look. But Sweden makes a pretty dang good gas mask, and there's nobody here in the U.S. that really makes them better. So we are trying to bring you the best products possible at the lowest prices possible. I don't know if I've said this before, and I don't know if I really should say it, but like I said, I like to be transparent. when we contact and get new vendors and new companies on board with us, we always have to sign an agreement saying that we won't ever go below this price point because we don't want to undercut them. And I get that from a business perspective. So what we do is we put it at the lowest possible price we can. And then sometimes we even run discounts. Like we just had our biggest sale of the year this past weekend. Put them already at the lowest price possible, and then we offer discounts too sometimes. So we're just trying to make sure you guys have the tools and the things that you need to live your American dream and build it. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys got tons of value out of this. If you did, I ask that you please just like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. That's one thing that you're going to get used to, is my speech messing up like crazy. I get tongue twisted and tongue tied a whole lot. But thank you guys again. Make sure you share this with your friends and your family. And I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. And thank you again. And I will see you for episode 2. And remember, success takes work. Work takes time. Time is very limited. So get out there. Get to work. See you guys.